image.
Hello and welcome to Nava Karnataka, a state of continuous progress, where today we focus on the Nava Karnataka Vision 2025 and catch up with key stakeholders from government, public and private sector enterprises on what role such a document plays in the development of the state.
The Vision 2025 came about by incorporating views of citizens from various means of public participation, involving stakeholders from the urban and rural sectors, industry, academia, people's representatives, voluntary sector and civil society. The Vision 2025 covers 13 sectors which include information technology, biotechnology, agriculture, infrastructure, industrial development, services, education, employment and skill development, health and nutrition, rural development, social justice and empowerment, urban development, among others, apart from the areas such as governance and law and order.
See, our government has a vision, but we have to build vibrant Karnataka, and all our programs, particularly Annabhagya, Kshirabhagya, Krushi Bhagya, Vidyasiri, all these programs to poorer sections of all communities, all classes. So that is why in the next coming years we could able to, already we have published the vision document 2025. So in that direction we are moving.
The draft document of IT and BT envisions to make IT as an important driver of state's economy by increasing IT contribution from current $60 billion to $300 billion by 2025. It also aims to contribute to more than 25% of state's GSDP and 33% of the total technology-related business of India. Biotech products, processes and services to contribute to a bioeconomy of $50 billion in Karnataka, raising it from $6.5 billion in 2015. The document also purports to evolve the startup entrepreneurial ecosystem in the state to make it the best in the country by increasing the number of startups to 20,000, with over 5,000 assisted by venture capitalists.
The idea is to ensure that we cater to the people. We bring out policies for the people, by the people, and for the people, So it's like we don't want to do anything that might be regressive. So like I said, all our policies across states, across cities, across the world, they're playing catch up. So we are trying to see if we can quicken that process, accelerate that process of what people want and what government can deliver. And that is what is the Vision 2025 all about. And for Bengaluru, we are trying to do the same.
We have been working on this issue of visioning exercise for our sector, and as perhaps you know, ours is perhaps the one which is changing the fastest. So we are working at how we can increase the envelope, how we can look beyond the horizon, identify technologies which are emerging, and increase the talent pool size, and see that there are plentiful of opportunities that arise from the entrepreneurial point of view as well as from employment point of view. So I think it's a wonderful exercise which has been taken up. We have been actively associated with it, and I'm sure that this will work great.
I think overall, yes, growth plans for SAP I think continue. So I think it's irrespective of how the policy document looks like or not. But every policy document I think should also be followed up with impeccable execution, which is fundamentally where it is required. And government should intervene wherever it is required in that sense. end of the day, it's more of a partnership of how private sectors and government work together to drive it forward, and that's where I think everything of success lies in there.
Karnataka has always been in most progressive states, right? Like it has always led the way. Right now, I think there is an awakening around the country. The part which I, as an entrepreneur and as a citizen of this country, find very interesting is when different states jostle for each other to be the number one. And I think it's important for Karnataka to lay down this vision and follow it up and execute it very well, because if Karnataka has to retain its supremacy, is the best place, the capital of entrepreneurship in India, and it has to stay those steps ahead. And I think this vision definitely does that. If it is implemented well in next few years, I think it'll definitely keep Karnataka at the top edge of all the other states in the country.
The agriculture and allied sectors envision to empower farmers in Karnataka by ensuring improved productivity and income security through climate-resilient technologies, value addition, and reformed market network in order to achieve sustainable livelihood by 2025. The draft document also states to enhance horticulture production, post-harvest management, and promote animal husbandry and terriculture.
Going forward for the next 5 to 7 years, our priority will be to utilize our water resources more effectively. There are allocated portions to Karnataka which we need to exploit those resources. But when we talk about water, we need to be equally conscious that efficiency in use of water is what is actually going to save us in future. The water quantum may not increase, though there is some additional quantity available to Karnataka, but ultimately our future security comes from how efficiently we use the same water to irrigate greater areas. So micro irrigation and efficiency in use of water and use of technology in water utilization, I think these are our priorities.
State has also worked on promoting private-public partnership in agriculture development. Horticulture is you are aware that Karnataka is one of the most diversified states in terms of production. We produce virtually almost every crop across different zones, and what we started was we encouraged growth of farmer producer organizations, which can act as a focal point for the group of farmers. Around 200 to 1,000 farmers can be aggregated.
Right.
Then we talked to some of the companies. We invited them to link up with them, and then the company decides that okay, this is what we are going to purchase from you at a pre-agreed price. The farmers will go ahead and do the production. At the end of the day, whatever depending on what has been agreed, there are some contracts between them that they will purchase 50% of the produce or all their produce at the pre-agreed price, or they will produce 50% will be decided by the market also. So the farmer gets a benefit. The upside is for the companies, he gets a regular supply chain.
If you see the slogan of the government of Karnataka, it is my produce, my price. So unfortunately, the farmer is the price taker. But here we want to enable him to say what price he needs to sell his commodity. So this is the vision which the government of Karnataka is having. So in this direction, one is we have seen that increased competition is one part of it out over here. Now if you look at the data analysis which we have done for the last 4 years, more than 20 major commodities, there is a rise of 15 to 25% in the modal price. There are some commodities where it has gone up to 48%. In fact, the Niti Aayog itself has examined and said the returns to the farmers, the modal prices have increased by 13 to 38% in Karnataka. So one is the price going higher. But the second thing is very important. Farmer is a producer of one commodity, but a consumer in rest of the commodities. Right? So consumers also are of great importance in this scenario. So here is where, because of the efficiency we have brought in the markets, shortened the marketing chains out over here, you have seen that the farmer share in the consumer's rupee has gone up.
In a major move, the state government aims to achieve universal health care through an equitable, accessible, affordable, quality and well-governed health system for the people of Karnataka. To mitigate the problem of malnutrition, the state plans to implement a robust state-specific nutrition program through sustainable intersectoral and intergenerational approaches. Special thrust is being given on the utilization of health technology towards better service delivery, such as telemedicine, EMR, and HMR.
This document is definitely give a direction to all sectors. It's not only investors. It is education, it is healthcare, it is industry, to all sectors as to how Karnataka is moving. And they can also take that decision depending upon the strategies we have for making Karnataka by 2025 not the best state in the country. We are the best state. We'd like to make it the best state in the entire world.
I think it focuses on the prosperity as such, and when there are measures which are taken to enhance the prosperity, that will definitely provide opportunities for us to work with many other players in the market, and I'm sure that will also help us to look at newer avenues if there is any way where we can make use of the opportunities that are coming up or the prosperity measures in some way. I'm sure we will also be able to contribute, and we will also be able to leverage that and then see how we can take it to the next level, and that's the synergy I probably look forward to in that scheme.
While it's very important how the government plans the roadmap for the state 5 years, 10 years down the line, corporates will have their own independent plans. You know, it will not be very dependent on what the government does. The government definitely supports, but I think we will have our plans, which will be perhaps more commercial and more short-term, long-term than what the government has.
On that note, let's head towards a quick break. You're watching Nava Karnataka, State of Continuous Progress, only on CNBC TV 18. Welcome back to Nava Karnataka, State of Continuous Progress, where we explore the importance of the Nava Karnataka Vision 2025, especially when political fortunes keep changing with every election. However, industry as well as government believe that such a vision document is critically important.
In the manufacturing and industrial development sectors, the document envisions to enhance the contribution of manufacturing sector to the state's GDP from current 16.87% to 20% by 2025, thereby creating employment opportunities for 15 lakh professionals. The document foresees to also build a strong public-private partnership model in the manufacturing sector and attract more investments.
There was a need of a document which actually sets out a direction for diverse sections of the economy and society. So we have been involved in supporting the government in building that document.
Right.
So to my mind, I think it's a very good document. Strategic actions coming out of that document need to be deployed down the line,
Right.
and integrated with various ministries and functional areas. I think that is something very important, and therefore the initiative lies not only with government, also with civil society, with academia, with industry. We all have to work together, make a joint platform to take the Vision Karnataka 2025 happen a couple of years before 2025.
In Bangalore, already we have a great aerospace ecosystem. In order to maintain the lead in a Nava Karnataka 2025 vision is very important. And I've been part of the aerospace committee in Bangalore, and as part of that we are looking at how we can spearhead the growth of aerospace in Bangalore and in Karnataka as well. And as part of that we look at areas where it's growing well and how we can accelerate that, and areas where it needs some development. If I give you an example, in aerospace manufacturing, one of the bottlenecks is really having a proper surface treatment capability. You know, it's like painting in cars, you have surface treatment in order to ensure there is no rust and things like that. And this facility, small and medium companies cannot have one for their own company. So it'll be good to have a shared facility, and that's the sort of thing we've been looking at part of the committee, and the government has said they would like to set that up in the aerospace SEZ as well. So like that, there are a few other initiatives which will really help to grow aerospace industry in Bangalore and in Karnataka as well?
I think any industrialist will look at a stable policy over a period of time, because investment will come based on a policy which is visible for a few years from now. I think I would appreciate the long-term policy of 2025, and how it is done, the way in which it is done I like, because it is participative, it is inclusive and also consultative. I think it's a very progressive policy. Any stable policy for an industry like us over a period of long years will help us to invest.
If you look into Citadel, we also have a 5-year plans, 10-year plans, and it's very important to have a vision. Once you have a vision, you can always reach out there. This vision is all about inclusive growth. And as a philosophy, we also in line with the government's thinking. For example, if you see here, whomever we hire, we are all taking people from the rural background. When you take people from the rural background, and each and every house, if they have one person working for an organization, they can lift 4 people. So that is also a social cause. It is also an inclusive growth. And with the Karnataka's thinking, government's thinking, which will really help in terms of taking all the people along.
When it comes to urban development and transportation, the government of Karnataka aims that by 2025, Karnataka becomes a more livable and safe state for its citizens. The government aims to ensure that the cities and their surroundings are free from filth and no adverse effect of municipal solid waste on environment and society. Affordable housing and safe and accessible transport for all will be another target area, while promoting low-carbon modes that lead to cleaner air in cities. Creating a Unified Metropolitan Transport Authority, or UMTA, with legal and financial capability is also on the agenda.
The Bangalore Development Authority, which is the planning authority for Bangalore, has prepared the revised master plan, where we have identified which will be the special development zone, where we improve the mobility and the transit-oriented development, so that the development happens where our transport corridors are. So this is the differential strategy of the city development, where we don't want to intensify the city center further. We want to expand to the other areas, but through proper transport facilities, whether it's roads or metro or the bus connectivity or even the non-motorized transport.
Right.
And the state government has been giving a lot of focus and attention on Bangalore.
In fact, any planning that is done has to look at future 10-20 years. The BDA always comes up with a master plan for next 10 years. Similarly, in the corporation also, we have a vision for the next 10 years, 20 years, how the entire 800 square kilometers of Bangalore has to develop. Accordingly, we also have a vision document which is in tune with what Nava Karnataka document has been prepared. So that ultimately will be broken into those yearly plans, and that is how we take the city development forward.
When this was conceptualized, we were always with them, and this Nava Karnataka vision to 2025 is totally in sync with the efforts what we are taking. Rather, we have made ourselves in sync with that vision document.
So we are constantly working with all the governments. Even in Bangalore, there are specific agencies, specific kind of departments within the government that we are working very closely with to come up with a solution for the smart urban mobility. Now it will be a combination of shared car ownership versus with cabs, also cycles. So it's going to be a combination of multiple things that will solve the the traffic problem.
That brings us to the end of this special episode into the insights of Nava Karnataka Vision 2025. Remember, you can catch the highlights of the actual event that's coming up in the next show. Until we meet again, thanks so much. That brings us to the end of the special series, Nava Karnataka, a state of continuous progress.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.